What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to show you how to replace the upper A-arms / ball joints on your 09 to 2012 F150. Probably also covers the 13 to 14 model years. We're going to start with loosening the lug nuts. We're using a 21 mil, which seems to be what everything is going to basically be. The upper ball joint nut is also a 21 millimeter. So we're going to crack these loose and jack the truck up now. Next, again, 21 millimeter for the upper ball joint. The worst! The worst. Pry bar. Well, for some reason we don't have a pry bar, but we do have a junk Fox shock, so we're going to use that and apply pressure downward on the A-arm, prying up on the strut. And look at that. Again, if yours doesn't just explode out like ours, you can hit around here with a hammer or try to just hit the joint from the bottom side. Be careful when you remove the upper A-arm because the knuckle will drop. You don't want all of your lines to get pulled tight and rip. Alright, so we have the coil over here, or strut assembly, whatever you want to call it, removed for different reasons. You don't have to do that for what we're doing here, but we decided to just leave it out for this part because we can get to the bolts a little bit easier for the upper A-arm and the ball joint. You can still get to those with this in place. You'll just need to hold a wrench on the head of the bolt while you go after the nut on the back side with a ratchet. These nuts and bolts are again 21 millimeters, sticking to that theme, which is appreciated. Alright, so we are using all Moog parts for this. A little bit cheaper than factory, but still good quality. A lot higher than your typical Master Pro or lower entry levels at the auto parts store. And then we have the control arm over there and another one here. It does say LH right there for left hand, so the other one will say right hand. I will post links in the video description where you can get these. I'll also post OEM parts as well as some cheaper ones if you'd wish to purchase. Alright, so the new ones are greasable, which we like. Greaser, putting that in now. Doesn't have to be too tight, which is why we're just using a pliers. I believe it looks something to be like maybe a 8 millimeter or 5/16 if you wanted to use the socket. So here's a comparison between stock and the new Moog ones. You can see they're the same shape. And the old one, I don't know if you can tell very well, got a little bit of up and down play, which was causing some clunking. That's where the new one is nice and stiff. So when you tighten the bolts for the new one, after you get it in place, you want to tighten the bolts with the upper A-arm at kind of a neutral position. It's good to maybe do one side at a time, and you can look at the other side of the truck. Put some weight under, either put weight on the wheel or put the jack under the lower A-arm on the other side so there's weight on that wheel, and see what kind of angle the upper arm is at with weight on it. That's the angle you want to tighten this at so that the bushings aren't getting worked any harder than they have to, and so you can get the upper ball joint bolted into the knuckle easily. Alright, there we have the upper A-arm and ball joint assembly fully tightened. We have new hardware. We are not using the factory 21 millimeter. This is a castle nut and a cotter key. So we're going to tip the knuckle back into place, shove down. You might need an extra set of hands for this. Start the nut. Alright, so it does turn out that the upper ball joint, although different fasteners, they do have the same size. So these are 21 mil as well if you go with the Moogs. I do not have any torque values for these. We're just going to go until they're tight and then get basically the same concept with everything. It's just kind of go till you feel it bottom out and give it an extra oomph. And then put the cotter keys through the holes and bend them over. If I had to guess on torque with these, I'd say somewhere around 45 foot-pounds, maybe 60. Don't buy a car, buy a truck. Alright, there you can see it just started ballooning up and we stopped. You could go more, but as long as you have grease in there, I'd rather not push our luck just because I have screwed myself over greasing these a few times. Alright, now it's time to reinstall the wheel. Everything looks different in this video. The truck is lifted a few inches, so if your knuckle doesn't look the same, it's because it's a stock one that's shorter. Tighten the lug nuts in a star pattern, 21mm socket. Alright, and the torque spec on these is 150 foot-pounds, which you'll want to re-torque after 50 to 100 miles of driving. And that will wrap up the one side. I'm not going to film the other side because it's literally identical steps. Just pay close attention to what we did on this side. So that does it for this video. If it helped you out, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell notification button for more videos like this. Also, make sure to check me out on Facebook at Tony the Truck Guy. Thanks for watching.